Hey, welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm gonna talk about top 5
best PC case fans.
Starting at number 5.
NZXT F120 RGB. NZXT offers a more affordable option for RGB fans in the NZXT F120 RGB Duo. There are a few kits to choose from, including more budget-friendly F120 core fans, though I've tested the more stylish Duo option, which is still quite a bit cheaper than some of the high-end alternatives. What you get in the box depends on the kit you purchase, but I've the triple pack and thus have 3 fans and an RGB controller included. That's enough to plaster the front of most mid-tower PC cases or cover both the front and back of a smaller chassis. With each fan requiring 2 cables, one to the RGB controller and the other to a 4-pin fan header, the F120 Duo requires some cable management. That's a bit of a shock after coming from the QX120, though these are a lot cheaper. The F120 RGB Duo look fantastic once they're actually operational, with bold colors erupting from both sides of the fan's cutaway design. Though you are buying luscious looks here, the F120 are pretty middling for performance. They're louder than Corsair or Noctua options I've tested, yet generally push less air. So, a pick for the vapid PC builders out there, but nonetheless still solid enough to keep a PC build nice and cool. Definitely a decent fallback option should you be looking for something cheaper than Corsair's iCUE Link.
Coming at number 4.
Corsair iCUE Link. I took one look at Corsair's iCUE Link QX120 RGB fans and immediately knew they were the best RGB fans I've seen to date. They're stunning, vibrant, and it couldn't be any easier to get them synced up and looking great inside your PC. Before you even get to laying your eyes on the QX120 in all their RGB glory, you need to install them. That's easy enough, thanks to a magnetic snap-together connection on either side of each fan. The system is modular, meaning you can choose to install however many fans altogether as you like, hooked up via a single cable to the iCUE Link system hub. The system hub requires a spare PCIe 6-pin connection from the PSU. That shouldn't be an issue for most modular, reasonably powerful PSUs, but it could pose a problem if your PSU has fixed cabling and few connectors. It also asks for a free USB 2.0 header. With that sorted, you use one of the uniform iCUE Link cables to run to the first fan in the chain, and from there, any other fans or cables connected are powered and hooked up to the iCUE hub, and by extension, the iCUE app.
At number 3.
Scythe Kaz Flex. As the best budget PC fan, the Kaze Flex 120 PWM arrives in a cheap plastic package, looking more like it came from an auto shop than a modern PC retailer. Side by side with Noctua's Redux packaging, or Corsair's weighty boxes, Scythe feels like a budget fan solution. To be fair to Scythe, it is selling the Kaze Flex for pretty cheap. And once it's inside your PC case you aren't going to notice the cheaper plastic so much. The Kaze Flex 120 PWM we tested is one of the company's better models, though. At 1200 RPM, the Kaze Flex 120 moved more air in our test rig than some of the competition. Corsair, for instance, did at 1400 or even 1600 RPM, presumably due to having 11 blades where most fans have only 9. Lots of air goes hand in hand with noise though, and indeed the Kaze Flex 120 PWM is also noisier than the competition at any given speed setting, though since it tops out at 1200 RPM, the noise is never as bad as models that spin up to higher speeds. If you want a decent budget-friendly fan and the SF12B isn't doing it for you, Scythe's blade-heavy blower might be the right choice. And hey, one more company hasn't dipped into the RGB LED well yet. That's worth something.
Number 2 of my list.
Noctua NFP12. The NFP12 Redux 1700 is a more affordable fan and the best on a moderate budget. Noctua builds fans that last a long time, move a lot of air, and do it quietly. A few issues, however, until recently, buying Noctua fans meant committing yourself to a hit-or-miss khaki mud color scheme straight out of the 70s and spending a pretty penny. Thankfully, This NFP12 Redux 1700 helps out in both departments, as the more affordable and stylish option to the NF2 X25 PWM. Noctua's Redux line comes in a modern gray and another gray look that won't detract from the rest of your PC build. It's not as quiet nor as efficient as the blacked-out NF2 X25 PWM, but it is much cheaper. It's more or less half the price. The NFP12 Redux 1700 balances great performance with a budget-friendly price tag and looks great in the process. It's a fan more tailored to use on a radiator than as a case fan, but it does well in both uses. It's a bit more of an all-rounder than the NFS12B Redux 1200, which we used to recommend in this spot, and runs faster too. You can save some money and pick the NFS12B Redux 1200 if you are solely using these fans for your case cooling. Though I do like the flexibility in the Redux 1700 for about $1 more. We've a properly budget PC fan option below, should you need it.
And number 1.
Noctua NF2 X25. The Noctua NF2 X25 PWM is a clear and easy pick for the best PC fan. If you're looking for a top-tier 120mm model that can move a lot of air, the awkwardly named NF2 X25 blows away the competition. Of all the fans we tested, this model pumped the most air through our test rig. You can decide between khaki and mud or black versions, pick your poison. We've the Chromax black version of the fan for testing, as seen in the pictures above, though it's only really different for the smart black colorway and additional Chromax corner pieces. The specs all remain the same. The NF2 X25 is a great all-rounder and can be used as both a case fan or stuck on a radiator with great effect. For a bit more info on that, and to understand Noctua's naming, check out Noctua's guide. The NF2 X25 was the quietest fan we tested when running at lower RPM. Our numbers have it putting out less noise at 1200 RPM than some fans running 300 RPM slower. Since those mid-range speeds are generally more likely to come up in day-to-day use, the NF2 X25 is an excellent choice for your average gaming PC while still giving it the headroom to spin up to 2000 RPM in the middle of a heat wave.
Check out this video description for latest price and more informations. Thank you for watching this video. Please subscribe and stay tuned.